This is the Orioles Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Not a great Wednesday for the Baltimore Orioles. 7-0 loss at the hands of Jacob deGrom and the Texas Rangers in a deflating, serious loss. Series started out great. Bats in full force. Trevor Rogers with a great start. Last night, getting no hit through 6 against Jacob Latz. And tonight, handling the great 37-year-old Jacob deGrom. As always, this is the Baltimore Orioles Postcast. My name is Luke Slabaugh. I am your post-game host, and this is streaming live on YouTube right now and available wherever you get your podcasts on demand after the fact. So if you're joining us right now live, go ahead, leave a comment. If you're watching on demand next day in the car, go ahead, leave a comment, your thoughts on the season so far, a rating, a review, thumbs up, 5 stars. We'll take it all. Sadly, it's been a precarious situation the last few days, right? You're rooting against a no-hitter rather than focusing on the team actually doing well and putting the ball in play. And for every good pitching performance that the Orioles have had, something has tripped them up immediately afterwards. It is the 8th shutout loss of the season for Baltimore, and this is not the standard. They fall 12 games under 500, and in 3 of their last 5 games, they have been no hit through 6 innings. Something is amiss.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I see a comment that they've lost count of how many rock bottoms have happened this season, and this one just feels deflating. Getting no hit by a guy named Jacob in back-to-back games, at least through 6. deGrom through 7 tonight. The Orioles, for their rich history and even dating back into the St. Louis Browns days, have never been involved in a perfect game. And so going up 18 down against an elite right-hander and ace and Jacob deGrom, it was the longest perfect game bid of his career. And it was starting to feel really real. deGrom, for his part, hasn't made a full 32 starts or had a healthy season since 2019. That 2020 campaign was shortened due to the pandemic, and he was healthy then. But he has been as advertised for the Rangers. Fastball playing up at 99, tantalizing slider, changeup with good horizontal break. And we even saw that with the first batter at the bottom of the first, Jackson Holliday striking out on this changeup at 91, just gliding away from him. And deGrom, for his part, often injured, has had 2 Tommy John surgeries in his career, was making a serious bid for the 25th perfect game in Major League history. 67 pitches through 6 innings. Holliday leads off the bottom of the 7th, works the count to 3-2. Believe he got a first pitch ball. And on the 7th pitch of the at-bat, a full count, a slider outside. Holliday takes it for a walk. To that point, deGrom had thrown 15 first pitch strikes against the previous 18 batters. He was nails. Ryan O'Hearn walks later in the inning with 2 outs, but the O's can't do anything about it. Gary Sanchez hits a ground ball up the middle, but it's a fielder's choice by the second baseman. And you're still thinking, cool. I mean, you could be witnessing something historic at Camden Yards. Obviously not cool, given that you would prefer the Baltimore Orioles get their behinds back in this wild card race. But John Means had only allowed 1 base runner in the 2021 no-hit bid that he had. And Hisashi Iwakuma still holds the last no-hitter against the Orioles. So there's history at play here. And deGrom, for his part, going for the 6th Rangers no-hitter in franchise history and the first since Kenny Rogers' perfect game 31 years ago. But no, Colton Cowser snuffs that out. The lone hit for the Orioles tonight comes on a 1-1 count, pokes a single through the right side hole on a fastball low. So on the 89th pitch for Jacob deGrom, manager Bruce Bochy says he's had enough, knocks him out after 7+ innings pitched. And there's nothing doing after that. The O's go quietly into that good night. This is starting to come full circle in a way. It feels very much like April where you would have one night where the O's had some uh, interesting clutch hits or some encouraging signs at the plate, and then the next they would go absolutely cold. Say what you want about Jacob Latz last night and the way that the Rangers started out that game. The O's showed a lot of chutzpah getting back into it, and at one point even taking a 5-4 lead. Tonight there was no such hope at all. Coming up, we're going to talk about Brandon Young's start, the right-hander back up from Norfolk, and we'll look ahead to the Rays series. They come to Camden Yards and maybe the last stand of the season for Baltimore, facing a division opponent. We'll talk about all that right after the break. Stick with us here. This is the Baltimore Orioles Postcast. I have been running a fever all day and had been just aching for hours. So this game didn't help. Um, Ever wish managing your money felt easier? Monarch Money makes that possible. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So, in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. And for me, kind of running on a tight budget right now, I've looked at my spending and I have been surprised how fast it can add up. And whenever my spin instructor asks me to go to mini golf, sometimes I got to ask Monarch Money, is that okay? Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Got some really encouraging responses from all the dudes in the comments last night about Rugiet. I live for Rugiet. Viagra, Cialis, all those things that we need, right? If you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Ready. Rugiet Ready is a next-gen prescription treatment designed to amplify arousal in the brain and boost blood flow. Unlike the usual pills that can take hours, Rugiet's 3-in-1 formula dissolves under your tongue and kicks in fast, on average in 15 minutes. Effects can last up to 36 hours. You can stay confident and in control when the moment is right. If traditional options haven't worked, Rugiet might be the answer. Over 150,000 men have already made the switch. Head to Rugiet.com/LockedOnMLB and use code LockedOnMLB to get 15% off today. That's Rugiet.com/LockedOnMLB and use promo code LockedOnMLB for 15% off. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rugiet website for full safety information. Right-hander Brandon Young gets the nod. The O's pitching staff has been overworked for weeks in the end of this 16-game stretch that ends in just a whimper. The bullpen had been taxed. Andrew Kittredge working a third game in a row today. And the team needs to get its bearings, take a day, and take a beat. Brandon Young's not going to outduel Jacob deGrom. And for someone who's on the verge of turning 27 and just now getting a real taste of Major League Baseball, you got to temper your expectations. Would have liked to see him go longer, but it seems that the O's are safeguarding him from that to that point. He's really green. The moment can be too big for him. Yet to go 5 innings in the bigs, and that is even more so a pronounced observation tonight as he goes 4+. Really a case of getting burned with 2 outs, and we'll talk about that in a second. Encouraging start, though. 1-2-3 first inning on 10 pitches, 3 first pitch fastballs for strikes. And the first thing I noticed coming back from that shoulder injury that he had suffered after being optioned was the fastball was touching 95 and probably had the best life on it of the 3 starts that we've seen from Young. That's encouraging. And then in the second, he gives up a double to Marcus Semien. Colton Cowser cuts it off. And he's a little bit off balance, fielding it and throwing it back in. But good job on Semien to leg it out. Adolis Garcia strikes out on a high fastball at 94, a 7-pitch at bat. Evan Carter flies out on a high changeup to Cedric Mullins in center. So with 2 outs, Josh Young steps to the plate for Texas. He gets a fastball out over the plate, more outside away, and he hits it oppo to right field to Dylan Carlson for a single, and it's a 1-0 ball game. That's rookie mistake, getting burned with 2 outs, trying to get out of the inning really quickly, and we'll see it again actually in the fourth. After Young again had a really good top of the third, 11 pitches, got Corey Seager to strike out on a changeup low, really good at mixing speeds and pulling that string on the changeup. So using that as a 2-strike weapon, you're cooking with gas. Top of the fourth, really good catch on the first pitch. Marcus Semien hits this lazy fly ball into shallow center field. Jackson Holliday has a beat on it, but is not necessarily even looking at it. Stretches out his glove and makes a over-the-shoulder catch for 1 out. And then Adolis Garcia rolls over on a first pitch curveball. Jordan Westberg back in the lineup, fields it and throws him out. So 2 outs on 2 pitches. And I think the moment got too big for Young. Rather than being able to stifle this and keep this a 1-0 ball game, he couldn't lock in. And so he throws a curveball over the plate, kind of, middle to Evan Carter, maybe a little high. Carter shoots it up the middle. And then Josh Young, again at the plate, 0-2 count, gets a hanging changeup, and it's blasted opposite field for a home run and a 3-0 ball game. So what could have been so simple as a 5-pitch inning is probably, goes 5 pitches later than it should have. So he's burned twice with 2 outs. And in the top of the fifth, he walks Alejandro Ozuna on 4 pitches. That's the 9-hole hitter batting 162. And so one of those walks bites Brandon Young. In fact, it would later in the inning. That's his line. 4 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. Ozuna would come around and score thanks to Scott Bluette later in the inning. 2 strikeouts, a home run given up. And so in each of his 3 games started, Brandon Young has given up at least 3 earned runs. You can tell that this is a marginal thing. He is on the brink of being able to lock in with 2 outs and extend these outings 5 or 6 innings. And when he's able to do that, you might consider pairing him with a Cade Povich or some other piggyback type of starter. Trevor Rogers, perhaps, depending on what the rotation looks like when you have more healthy arms up there. And then Scott Bluette comes in there in the top of the fifth and can't throw strikes. He walks Sam Haggerty, lets Ozuna steal a base prior to that, and then falls behind 3-0 on Corey Seager, grooves a fastball to him, sit up the middle for a single, makes it 4-0. Marcus Semien singles on a high slider to left on a 2-1 count, made it 5-0. And Adolis Garcia with a sac fly to make it 6-0. The O's carry on a much-deserved day off tomorrow for them, for you, and especially for me. They will welcome the Tampa Bay Rays to Camden Yards Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The starters are supposed to be right-handers Tomoyuki Sagano, Zach Eflin, and Dean Kramer. And I'm also getting word that this is an Apple TV production. 7:05 first pitch Friday night. That is what the schedule says so far. I thought we were out of the woods with those after the Angels game, but I was wrong, and I do apologize. I'm going to take one scrub through the comments before we call it a night. Please make sure you are respectful to each other. And I'm seeing some disappointment in Tomoyuki Sagano not being able to go on 5 days rest. Probably in the interest of longevity, probably worth it not pitching him tonight. Get him some extra rest, get him ready for a divisional game. Yeah, and I can see Narniak here in the comments live says Brandon Young clearly demonstrated that he's not ready, and he's not. This was not a part of the O's master plan to have him up. And yet the O's bumped Sagano to start against deGrom for him. Yeah, I guess you got to value this the division opponent. This is it, and they'll likely see deGrom again in Arlington. Billy Slick on YouTube comments, "You're just rooting not to get no hit now," and that's where we're at, and that's a very precarious situation to be in. Final score tonight: the Texas Rangers beat the Baltimore Orioles 7-0. We're back here Friday. Good night. Stay safe. I will see you back here on Friday night.